She good. Alright guys, so it's tile day out in Lemoore and we're just getting started out here. It's actually not that early, it's already 9 o'clock, but it's been cold, so I'm not too unhappy about that. I'm wanting that sun to come up a little bit higher. And yeah, we're shooting grade and we're gonna get going out here. Why are you snapping it, dude? Okay, so here we're setting our string. We're snapping our lines for the board height. Now the top of our boards will go to that string. You can see us cutting one in half here. This one we're cutting in half is for the top step, which is just a little too shallow to fit one full board in. And these boards are really handy. They're really easy to work with, easy to nail through. And I would say they're kind of made of like a egg carton pulp material, like the pulp egg cartons. So yeah, really easy to cut and whatnot. As you can see, I'm just using the back of my hammer there to mark it. You could just you could just rub it against the gunite if you need to take a little bit off. And yeah, it's a pretty simple process. Now this keeps our tile nice and level across the whole pool. And with our transit that we use, we check the highest point of the bond beam, so the top of the gunite around the pool. And that's the level that we set the rest to. And then later you'll see us back in the back of the tile for the parts that are lower. Throwing some mortar in this in the throat of the skimmer here, and this will get lined with tile also. We add calcium and hot water to help that take up quicker. A little bit of thin set going down here with a skip trowel, and we're slapping our tile down. This tile was really a pretty selection. I really liked it. It was from Aquabella, and it's a 6x6. It's funny with these tiles, you have to really be careful because even though it's a 6x6, you get it and they're more like 5 3/4. So just like a 2x4 isn't exactly 2x4, you have to kind of, if you're doing an application that has to be really to a T, you just have to be careful of that. Now here we're back in the tile, so the parts that were lower, that gets back with the mortar. We're mixing up some grout here. And this grout is Dove Gray, so it's one shade lighter than charcoal. By Polyblend, I think, or Polybond is the name of the grout. I'm kind of forgetting the name at the moment, but it's a sanded grout, and it's going to dry a little bit lighter than this as it's going down right now. But it looks really nice with the tile selection. The tile has kind of like a quartz stone look to it. And the interior of the pool, the plaster will be a dark gray also. It's a steel gray by PebbleTech, specifically Pebble Fina, which is a really fine material. And you'll be able to see a little bit of a shear descent installation here. This is a 2-foot shear by CMP. And we're placing a board at the front. Our guniters notch out the area for the shear descent, as you can see back here. And we burn in some mortar, as you can see, and then we fill it in and set the shear in place. You want it to protrude a certain amount out depending on the type of stone you're gonna face the tile with, or excuse me, face the wall with. Then the next step is basically just kind of entombing that shear descent in mortar, and then on top of that eventually will be a poured in place concrete coping, so a cap. And that's really about it for today, guys. This is the more or less the process. We'll take off the forms here. This wall is going to get dressed with stone, which you'll see in a future video. And yeah, the tile came out really good. I could talk more about why we don't float these walls on rectangle pools in the future. It has a lot to do with our gunite process and the steel wires that we use and how accurate they cut those walls. But that's about it as far as the tile install goes. I think the client made a really good tile selection. I think it came out really nice. And coming up here, a little bit of bonus content, I guess you could say, is some equipment drop off. This is our project in Hanford, and we're dropping off our Jandy equipment. Those lights there in those little square boxes are nicheless LED lights. They're really cool. They can change colors, and leaps and bounds better than the old school big niche lights. These are really cool. And we have our pump here. It's going to be a variable speed pump, so they can run at different speeds. And we're going to unload the filter here too. And this is a cartridge filter. And if you're familiar with pool products, cartridges have been around a long time. You still see a lot of DE filters though. And cartridge filters, you don't have to backwash. There's no diatomaceous earth, that white messy powder. So I far prefer these over DE filters. And yeah, we've been really happy with Jandy's equipment. They have a really good warranty, really good quality products, and the automation is also really handy to be able to control your heater, your lights and pump from your phone. See how frosty this is. This little guy here is kind of the brain to the system. It's called a TCX, and it's basically the automation that will control the pool and the scheduling for the pump. Just a quick overview of the equipment. We have our main electrical panel. Electricity will come in to here from the panel, go into our sub panel, our load center, like this. From our load center, power would go to our TCX, which is this. I gave this as a military discount to our client. Really cool clients out here. This is going to allow them to control their pool from their phone. So the pump schedule, they can turn the pump on and off from anywhere, their lights from anywhere. Kind of cool. So power will go from that center to that, and then power would also go, of course, to our pump from that too. And then from the TCX, a comm wire will go out, and that'll allow the client to control the schedule and whatnot for the pump. These are our lights coming in from the pool, so the light conduits, and that will go into a light J box, which looks like this. So that will be capped like that. Power will come in on one side from that panel, and then our water will come in from the pool to our pump, from the pump to the filter, and then back out to the pool. Ruben,
hey, how's it going?
How's it going, brother?
Good, good.
Here are those guys for you.
All right, good.
Cold this morning, huh?
Yeah.
We're gonna have Ruben do some flyers today. We're in Hanford. He's done some flyers for me in Lemoore, and we have 2 designs that we're working on from those flyers. So seems to be working pretty good as far as lead generation. So we're gonna keep trying it. We're gonna hit this newer subdivision here. Hey, you've hit this neighborhood, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Did you hit the whole thing, or?
Yeah, I did all this over here.
Almost everything?
Yeah.
Okay, just pull in behind me. I'll find another one.
Okay.
I forgot, as I was pulling in, I was like, wait, I think he's actually done this one.
Yeah, I know. I was looking. I was like, it looks familiar.
Yeah. As I'm driving away from that neighborhood, I see these new builds right up here. I'm gonna take a look at the backyard a little bit and see how they look. Like, you can see this house right here. Forget about putting a pool back behind that one. 2-story houses tend to have larger backyards due to the footprint of the house, you know, being spaced, distributed across both floors. You can see this backyard here, they probably have at least, I don't know, 25 feet, which still isn't much, but you could at least do a pool back there. Fresno Plumbing. See those trucks all over the place. You know what, this neighborhood, the backyards are just borderline too small, but I think I'll have him hit it. Even if we sell one pool, it'll be worth it.